G'day guys and welcome to my channel. My name is Danny Bird. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I ask that you consider subscribing. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Hopefully some of my previous videos are helping your golf game improve. In today's video, we're going to be looking at why you may be struggling to rotate better in your downswing. And honestly, it's so simple. You're going to want to run to the driving range and get cracking on this. So over my many years of coaching, I've come across a lot of players who have stepped onto the coaching block and said, Danny, I really do struggle with rotating and getting myself open through impact. And as a result of that, I feel like I'm hitting the ball poorly. But it's really interesting that why they don't actually rotate open as much as they would like is very simple, and it's a very uncomplex thing and very easy to correct. So number one reason why you're going to struggle to get yourself opening your hips through impact and hitting the golf ball better is your lead foot. Far too often I witness players setting themselves up and their lead foot is set all wrong. Now, I know many of you are going to ask the question, well, how on earth do you set your lead foot wrong? Guys, quite simply. If we were to get ourselves into setup position, a common mistake I tend to see players make is they'll go through this beautiful routine, and they'll set themselves up, and they're trying to set themselves up square, okay? So we've struggled to hit the golf ball in the past, we maybe sliced it, maybe hooked it, whatever the case may be. And we will see players set themselves up square. So feet square, hips square, knees square, shoulders square, everything. But the problem is that this left foot being so square, so flat towards the camera angle here as we look at ourselves, it is very difficult to turn fully through. As you see here, I'm trying to turn, but it is very hard with the left foot being so flat. It's almost like having a weight, an anchor, or even a brick wall loaded up against the left side, and we kind of can't turn through it because of how the left foot is positioned. So we need to address the left foot. If we can get ourselves setting up with the left foot flared. Now what I ask players to do in order to get this part correct, because you do see players set the left foot flared and it is done incorrectly and they end up being way too open or way too closed. We're going to go through the same routine, set our feet square together, so we'll set them nice and straight to the target, and then we're simply going to rotate this left foot open. So as I now look down here, my feet are still parallel to each other, they're parallel to my target, but now my left foot's flared ever so slightly, I have this ability to rotate and I can keep going, and that's about the point where my left side now stops me from turning anymore. Well, interestingly, I was here a moment ago and I've gained all this extra rotation through nothing more than flaring out the lead foot there. Now, the second issue that we tend to see is, again, related to our setup. Now, it's funny because in the setup, this actually tends to happen to players because they've been hitting the slice shot. So, can't rotate, my arms are too active, I leave my hands open, I either hit a big snap pull to the left or I hit a high weak cut to the right. So then we see this next problem occur. Leads to being unable to rotate. So what we'll then see players do is set themselves up, and they're so desperate not to hit that slice shot and get better control over the golf ball, they kind of pull the trail foot back, the right foot back here, and then as a result, we've turned our point of alignment being to the right here, and then again, I'm struggling to kind of turn through correctly because I've pulled my right foot back so much. Now, again, this might seem quite simple and fairly obvious, but you'll be surprised if you have a look at your own game, or if you have playing partners you play with, probably struggling with a similar thing, is the way the brain thinks logically is slice shot, not rotating, pull the right foot back. That's going to enable me to get the ball to draw more. But the reality is that all you're doing is compromising your ability to rotate. So how are we going to go about training our setup and also training our rotation? Very simple, very easy. I'm going to give you the at-home training session right now. All right, so as with all my at-home training sessions, I ask you guys to do this for 5 minutes a day for a 30-day period if you're looking to see genuine improvement. You only need access to 2 alignment sticks, or you can do this with 2 golf clubs. I'm actually going to be using my setup template and an alignment stick here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to place our alignment stick, or my template as it were, on the ground, parallel to an imaginary target out in front, okay? Now we're going to be working on getting our feet set up. So I want you to start off with your feet square, and I want you just to kind of flare this lead foot open. And you'll see here that I'm keeping the exact same distance between my toe and the edge of the template for both my lead foot and my trail foot. So we're now learning what it's going to feel like to have our lead foot set open, but still making sure that our knees, hips, and shoulders are parallel, okay? You'd also notice here that by doing this, my right foot is positioned correctly, my trail foot's positioned correctly. So we're actually tackling both how the feet set, left and right foot, lead and trail, are being set up at address just by having this reference point on the ground. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you to take an alignment stick here. I'm going to ask you to place it and hold it on your belt line. Now you can put this through the belt if you'd like to, but I'm going to hold it here. From this position here, we're going to rotate back and pause. So this would be our backswing motion. We're not making a full one. And then I want you to turn through fully, trying to ensure that your alignment stick here is pointing out to behind where you were at address. So reset, set everything square, backswing motion, and through swing motion. Okay, so for those of you at the driving range wanting to spend some time, as always in previous videos I've noted this, we're going to break the training session down. So this particular one, I'd like you to break it into thirds. So let's say, for argument's sake, we have 30 golf balls in our training bucket there. We're going to have the first 10, the second 10, and the third 10. So those first 10 shots that we hit, we're really going to be focusing on swing movement here, really working on trying to get the hips working. So we still want our reference point on the ground. We still want a setup template or an alignment stick on the ground to ensure we're seeing where our feet are. What we're then going to do is take a secondary alignment stick and position it behind our lead foot here. And it's going to sit about an inch or so behind the heel. I've placed that in an upright position, and then we're going to take another alignment stick. So this is where you're probably quite handy to have a golf club on the ground as your point of reference. We're then going to place the alignment stick through the belt loops here. So it's out in front. You can see here the way I've got it positioned. On the trail side, a small amount, lead side, a lot more. And then we're just going to be working some practice swings where we're trying to get the 2 alignment sticks to connect with each other. So it's really important that we reset each time, as you'll see there. If we don't, we get lazy, we're going to end up crashing and moving it around. So back, down. I can feel myself rotating through. Wait for the click. Hear that click. Once we've done that, we're going to do a few of those before each shot, and then I'd ask you just to simply take your alignment stick out of the ground. I'm going to place that behind you for a second, and then to hit the golf ball, we're going to do a half a swing. So really focus on that setup, so flare the lead foot, make sure that the trail foot is inline parallel, set ourselves hip high, and then turn through, really focusing on using the alignment stick here to guide us on that downswing. So this part of the training session, those first 10 shots is not about how well you hit the golf ball, okay? Really, really important. Then what we're going to do, and this is handy if you do have access to a plane mate, because you can loosen them. I'm going to demonstrate this here. So I've got my plane mate in the ground here, and we're going to then hit our next 10 shots at half speed, but we're still going to get into that same setup position. So still working the feet to be in the correct spot, flare them, good. And then we're going to try and hit the golf ball. And as I turn around here, I'm going to really try and rotate my hips. And I want to be able to push this alignment stick over and out of the way. So if you do place it in the ground, it's very lightly in the ground. So I've managed to hear the crack as that went through. It bounces up and over it, and we get good rotation through. And then what we're going to do for the final 10 golf balls, we're going to go through our pre-shot routine. We're going to go through as if we're out on the golf course. And the only little bit we're going to add is I'd like you to set your golf club on your belt buckle line, on your belt buckle if you have one. I want you to work the rotation through. 2 of those before each shot. Then we're going to stand over, look up, and hopefully get some good rotation here. Perfect. So guys, as easy as that, that's a little bit more of a, I suppose, complex training session, but you're going to see huge benefits from it. And I know that many of my in-person students who have taken this particular training session have seen themselves, one, learn to line up better and more lined up straighter, I should say. And secondly, really learn to open up the hips better on the downswing. So there you have it, guys, improving your rotation through number 1, improving your setup of your feet at address. And number 2, a quick and simple training exercise that you can run through. Again, the at-home stuff is free to do and is so worthwhile. So by the time you get to the driving range, you're a lot more adept at making the correct movements. Guys, as always, I do appreciate you taking the time to watch those videos, and I really do hope that the videos are helping your game improve. If you do know someone struggling with their game that maybe needs a bit of help, could be a friend, family member, maybe a playing partner, please feel free to share the videos with them. If you have a question about today's video, previous videos, or maybe you want a question in general or want to leave a comment, please do. As you'll see, I do get back to all comments. If you liked today's video and you thought it was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Those likes go a long way to spreading the videos around around YouTube and help my channel grow, which then enables me to shoot more and more free content for you. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And when you do, make sure you tick the little bell so you get notified. As I said, we're dropping videos more and more regularly, and you want to be notified when they come out, that's the way to do it. That little bell will let you know when the videos are released to the channel. Until next time, guys, happy golfing.